Hello everyone, welcome to Code and Box Automation Lab. This is Shoreful. This session it's about data abstraction and abstract class in Java. We all know Java is an object-oriented programming language, and if there is a language is based on object-oriented programming concept, it's supposed to follow some of the criteria. And one of the significant part of OOPS concept is data abstraction and abstract class. In my previous lecture, if you haven't seen, please I would recommend watch those videos, especially all of the part regarding the object-oriented programming concept, following like what is inheritance, polymorphism, and encapsulation. And this is one of the very important part of OOPS concept. It's called data abstraction. Okay, let's see what is data abstraction. So first, we will know what is abstract before we go for data abstraction and abstract class. Abstract is a reserved keyword which is used with class and methods in Java. If abstract keyword is used with a class, then no one can create an object of that class. If abstract keyword is used with a method, then it must be overridden in the first concrete class. So concrete class, it means a class where you have lots of methods with a body definition. And next point is abstract method means there are no body definition, and concrete method means the methods has a body definition which is executable. So an abstract method means there will be methods. If there is a method without a body definition, I mean body is empty, then you can say that method is abstract. But we have to use the abstract keyword with the method name. Next point is to inherit or implement abstract class. We should use the very first level of the child class, not the child of child class. And the last point is if a child class inherit an abstract class, it's mandatory to overriding all the methods to child class. So as per we understand, abstract is a keyword that is used with the method and classes. If it's a class is abstract, it will have a abstract method and non-abstract method. And an abstract method, it means a method which doesn't have the body definition, and the non-abstract method or concrete method means the method will have a body definition which is executable. And if you have an abstract class have to be implemented in a child non-abstract. Have to be implemented in child non-abstract class. I mean it's concrete class. Okay, it's a first level concrete class, not the class of the class. Okay. So now, what is abstraction? So abstraction is a design concept on which we only declare functionality but does not define the body, because we don't know about them at design point. So abstraction is a concept, it's a design concept. Okay, where we declare just some function. We know the functions what it was going to do, but we don't know how it's going to do, because the work we want to achieve by doing by those method, the execution is not fixed. We don't want to fix it because the execution can be depends on the situation where we're going to use those methods. That's why they create those methods as an empty or as an abstract, and that's the whole concept is called abstraction. So finally, we can say all together, an abstract class can have abstract and non-abstract or concrete method. So a class would have at least one abstract method is called abstract class. Okay, so abstract class, when you say abstract class, we can assume that it have to be like mixed of non-abstract and abstract method. So at least at least one abstract method have to be present in an abstract class. Okay, let's see an example. It will give us a better idea. Okay, here there's an example. Let's start it from here. So I created an abstract class. It's called bank. So you can see the class name is bank, and I use a keyword abstract. So you have to use the keyword abstract if you want to make an abstract class. So it means it will have some non-abstract and abstract method when you say abstract class. So here I create a method. It's called deposit. It's a public, and it has some body definition. It has some code inside the body, just some printing. Okay, and here is another method in abstract class. It's called withdraw, and it has a body. So these two methods are non-abstract. It's a concrete method. And here I have another method. It's called calculate interest, and you can see I use the abstract keyword, and it doesn't have any body definition. There is no body. It's an empty method, right? After this there is nothing. It's an empty method. So as we just learned that we will say a class is an abstract when it will have some concrete method. It's an example, deposit and withdraw, both are concrete method because both of them have a body definition, as well as it needs to be have at least one abstract method which is without a body definition. Here we can say the calculate interest is an abstract method without a body definition, and you can see that I use the abstract keyword also before the abstract method. Now I create another class. It's called HSBC, and I use the extend keyword and make a relationship as a parent-child relationship following inheritance process. So if you don't know what is inheritance in object-oriented programming language, so please watch my previous lecture where I explain about what is inheritance, how it works, all those things. So simply, inheritance is the process that allows you to make a relationship between two classes as a child and a parent. So here, this is my child class HSBC, and I use the keyword extend. You have to use the keyword extend to make a relationship or inheritance between two classes. And here is my parent class, which is bank, right? So the bank is here. I created the abstract class bank. So this is bank is now is my parent class. Parent class in terms of this relationship following inheritance concept. So here my HSBC class, I have another similar type of abstract class. Is called calculate interest, but this is not abstract. It's a concrete class. For HSBC, it has its own class, same name, calculate interest rate. It's return type integer, and it has some body definition. So this is not abstract. So it has some printing message, as well as it's returning 4%. That's why its return type is integer. So I use the override because it's my parent class have the same method, so it will override by the child class method. Here I have similarly I have another class is called child class is called RBC, and again I use extend keyword and make a relationship with the bank class as a parent class. So RBC my child class, the bank is parent class, and RBC it has its own method also, same calculate interest, and it has a return type with the body. It has a return is 5%. So my HSBC child class and RBC both of them have the calculate interest rate method with the body definition, but the body definition is different. The implementation is different. One is returning 4%, another one is returning 5%. Right? Now let's go here. So I create another class. Is called abstract class demo, and in this class I have my main method. So my compiler will start to read the script from here. So here I make a relationship. I apply the polymorphism concept. So again, if you don't know what is polymorphism, please watch my polymorphism tutorial. So polymorphism, it's a process to allow, make a relationship between two classes following the inheritance concept, but in this time it will make a relationship this way. So you will create an object of your child class, which is of my HSBC, puts in a variable like HSBC, and then your parent class will be it's like your abstract class or interface class. So here my bank is an abstract class. I know my bank is abstract class, so I'm using my bank as my parent class. So here it means now HSBC have the knowledge about the both bank class as well as this variable HSBC has the knowledge about the both parent class bank and also the child class HSBC. So now if you use the HSBC, this variable, the object reference variable HSBC, and then put dot, it's supposed to show us all the method between these two parent and child class. So one of the method is deposit, that's from the parent class we can call, and also another method is called withdraw. This both method, it's written my bank parent class. I can call easily, I can just directly call them and both of them will come over here. So this is the common method implementation across all the bank and sub-bank. What's really happened? The deposit and withdraw, those are the common function across all the bank. If you think a real life bank, this is your central bank, they create the abstract class with that reusable function, or the common method for reusable function, say withdraw and then deposit. Those are the common function across all the bank. So they create those function with the body definition, so that the sub bank like HSBC, RBC, they don't have to create separately those function. So they just call those function from the parent class using polymorphism concept. So here, I'm just calling the deposit and withdraw. So now I call the calculate interest rate. So this calculate interest rate will come from the HSBC actual child class. So HSBC, you can see if you go down, you can see HSBC, it has its own calculate interest rate and its return is 4%, because so this method will call over here. Over here when you use this one, because my parent class bank, they have the calculate interest rate without the body definition. That's why the child class have the body definition for the same method. It will be override of my parent class body, the parent class for the same method, right? So this will call what the method from the this will call from the method from the HSBC class, which is the return type, say 4%. The same way I can create the relationship between RBC child class and bank as a parent class. Again, I can and RBC is my object reference, so I can use object reference variable, call the same common function deposit withdraw from the parent class, and also I can call the method calculate interest method from the child class of the RBC. This time the return type would be 5%. So what we have seen, the common for the reusable function for doing the same thing, we use we call those method from the central bank or bank class, from the parent class, so that we don't have to write this method again and again in our when we need to use in our child class. But if you need to create separate class for the calculate interest, because different bank have a different interest rate, so that's why we can just update the body for those specific method as per we need. That's why the implementation of the the abstract method, which is calculate interest rate, it is defined in the specific child class. Here it's like HSBC, they define the body definition with a 4% return, and also RBC, they define the body definition 5%. That's why the parent class, they keep it as an empty or abstract method. So this is the benefit using the abstraction concept. Like we can call that, we can call that, keep the common methods implementation across all the bank or sub banks. We keep those methods same as it is, so we don't have to write those methods for the child class, but the implementation would be different. We keep those methods as an abstract in parent class so that we can update the body definition as per the need in their child classes. Okay, let's go back to now this question about when to use this abstract class. So to give this answer, this is one of the interview question too. What is abstraction or abstract, and when we need to use this abstract class? So we'll give the answer with the definition first, then explain that. So an abstract class can have abstract and non-abstract method. We know it, we just haven't seen. We just have this, we have seen that it's a combination of abstract and non-abstract method. So a class would have at least one abstract method is called abstract class. That's what we have seen. Like the bank was the abstract class, and it has two non-abstract method or concrete method, withdraw and deposit. There is one abstract method is called calculate interest rate without a body definition. So therefore an abstract class is best suited for a scenario where there are a lot of reusable coded functionality that we don't want to write again and again, and there is at least one specific function what's implementation would be different to each subclass. That time we can create an abstract class with the required abstract and non-abstract method. So it's the same thing we have, I just explained you the bank parent class, so we created two concrete method, withdraw and deposit, and one abstract method was the calculate interest rate. So we keep the calculate interest rate as an empty, as an abstract method, so that when we implement, make a relationship that's a bank as a parent with a child class like RBC or HSBC, we call the reusable method like withdraw and deposit, we directly call from the parent class, so we don't have to rewrite the same code again and again. As well as we create the abstract methods implementation in the subclass in child classes in HSBC as per the need, like return type was 4%, as well as the RBC they had a return type like 5%. So that's why we created an abstract method in an abstract class, which is the implementation can be different, can be varied based on the child class necessary. So now here is a 2 point is a note. Non-abstract method are common or reusable method to use again and again to a subclass. An abstract method is a specific method without body definition to implement in different subclass in different way as per requirement. Okay, so that's all about the data abstraction and abstract class. And this is very important topics of object-oriented programming language in Java. I hope you enjoy and you understand. If you have any question, don't feel hesitant, write in the description or comment, and I will try to give you reply and answer. Thank you so much. You have a good one.